and we already did the women's roster, so we've got more on the men's roster because they have more men on the roster. I have 130 names listed down here, and here's actually it's 129 because I have JD Drake listed twice for some reason. As I had said for the other thing, as we're going to continue with the other ones too, I might be missing somebody that we might just realize after the fact, or I might have somebody down, apparently JD Drake twice. Maybe somebody is like technically not a part of Ring of Honor or AEW anymore, or, it's really hard to keep track of this kind of stuff. So, SmartComMoma.com, I've got my best guess of the roster, and some people, we'll play around with it if we need to. I have 3 people listed that I know aren't true AEW people, but they wrestle enough for them that I figured I might as well put them on there. And they are Gabe Kidd, Mascara Dorada, and Tomohiro Ishii. I figured those are, especially Ishii pops up so regularly that he might as well be ranked, as opposed to somebody like a Zack Sabre Jr., where it's like, all right, he's a New Japan guy who wrestles once in a while for AEW, but it's not the same. And if we think of anybody else too, we could always add that in there.
I'd say if you've got Mascara Dorado, then Mystico should be added to that list, probably.
Even though Dorado tends to wrestle a lot more for AEW? I mean, if you want to rank him, I can rank him. But,
I can only recall Dorado wrestling team matches for AEW that qualify for the triple threat match and the recent triple threat match are the team matches that I recall him having for AEW.
I thought he had been wrestling quite often, if I remember correctly. It's hard for me to keep track of so many goddamn matches too. That's the other thing.
I think Mystico's had about close to a dozen matches for AEW this year.
Let's see, cage match, Mystico. Good old cage match is so good. Let's go to match and then go to promotions, All Elite Wrestling. So Mystico has wrestled, well, if you count, okay, they're counting AEW, CMLL, et cetera, et cetera. Rampage, Dynamite, and whatnot. 15 matches total, but some of them, obviously not half of them for this year. Dorada has had Dorada has had 12 in 2025. So Dorada's had twice as much. But I mean, we can throw Mystico in there. I haven't seen enough of Mystico to rank him personally, but if you guys want to rank him, then we totally can. I'll add him onto the side thing there. There you go. I'd forgotten that I had Paul White on this list too. He hasn't wrestled. He doesn't count. Let's set the bar as we normally do. S tier, F tier, C tier, no opinions. We'll try to balance it out the way that we usually have going on here. S tier. We got so many people that we could toss into this. You could throw. I'm just going to toss a bunch of names that are high up right now. I'm not putting them in the D tier just because I'm moving over here for it's curious. We're going to go high for Will Ospreay. We're going to go high for Hangman Adam Page. We're going to go high for Swerve. I would go pretty high for Samoa Joe. Maybe not necessarily S tier right now, but he's perpetually towards the high end for me. I think we probably all would go pretty high for Konosuke Takeshita. We'd probably go pretty high for Kyle Fletcher. We're probably all going to go high for Kazuchika Okada. There's obvious names that are not going to be on the low end.
Yeah, including the person that's currently running away with it for me for Wrestler of the Year, which is Jon Moxley.
Jon Moxley's another one. Where's Moxley in this? It's alphabetical order, but yeah, nobody's gonna argue Jon Moxley shouldn't be S tier.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Out of this group that I just threw in here, I would say probably maybe not Samoa Joe S, maybe A. I'd probably put Paige Ospreay in S.
Yeah, Paige Ospreay. I'd say Swerve is S.
I'm about 50-50 on it.
Swerve is S.
Yeah, Swerve is definitely S.
So that's Russ on there. Takeshita A.
Yeah, right now, I'd say.
Fletcher A.
Yep.
Okada.
S.
He's an S. He's like a grandfathered in S.
Also, keep in mind, everybody, just a reminder, we can adjust these as we go along because the more that we fill this up, the more that we go, you know what, now that we think about it, there's more of an A+ to S range or something. So if we start seeing that we have like way too many people in A tier, we might move somebody up to S or something. So, you know, we always try to go for the bell curve of like going down like that. And we'll see where that goes. Let's try to get a C and an F just to not front load it too much.
Okay, so an F is Satnam Singh.
I'm not going to argue against that. What was that you just said, Rob?
I thought it was B for big.
No, it's B for Babatunde. A C. A C.
Trying to think who's the most middle of the road person.
Hologram?
Hologram kind of bounces between C and B, maybe. It depends, because you could argue something like a Leo Rush is a C.
I know they're currently a tag team, but I would argue that in singles or tags, you don't get more middle of the road than 2025 Roddy and Kyle. They can tear it down, but they're not going to be headlining anything.
Yeah, I could buy into that.
It sucks because it's like, you know, all three of these guys, Hologram, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, like they're talented, so it makes it seem weird to have that C tier. But then again, we can't put everybody on the S and the A and the B and all that. So and we're ranking based off of what they are now. So it's not, you know, Roderick Strong in its absolute prime at the absolute peak. Kyle O'Reilly when he's fighting for the NXT championship and everybody's like, you know, this guy's the future or whatever. Like, we got to keep some of that stuff in mind too.
And yeah, things have changed in a year as well. So trying to have a look through some of these ones.
B, I would say just to put a B in there and try to get a D, and an E. Somebody that I wouldn't go full on A tier for, but I don't think I'd go as low as C tier. The first thing that comes to my mind out of everybody is probably Bobby Lashley. Because it's like he is being treated like he's, you know, they don't want him to lose and he's got potential, but he's not past the tag team range yet. So I don't know if I go A, but I definitely wouldn't go C. It's like,
I think
Bobby's kind of in the A and B range to me.
I'd put Lashley in A and Shelton in B.
Shelton is a B. I think
I'd be okay with that.
And I'd listen to arguments for A, but I think Josh Alexander's another B.
Oh, that's
yeah.
a B, definitely.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Where's Josh Alexander in here?
And Lashley is hard for me because he's an A based on reputation.
No, I think he's an A based on the fact that he could, like, they could decide that he's challenging for the world title next month and build towards it, and it wouldn't feel out of place.
But they would still have to do some work.
They'd have to do some work, yeah, but it does pretty much say, like, it could be pretty much that Lashley just wins, like, a battle royal or a tournament, and then he's challenging, and it doesn't feel like, oh, that's, you know, it might feel a little bit sudden, but it's kind of like, okay, we kind of get it, because it's Bobby Lashley.
Right.
So by that logic, Cope and Cage are both A's?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you could. They did the same thing as well.
Yeah. Where is Christian Cage? Christian Cage is here. I should take Christopher Daniels off this list. I should take Chuck Taylor off this list.
Yeah.
Who else should I take off?
Billy Gunn.
Well, you would just replace him with Jerry Lynn.
Yeah. Probably a couple other people that we'll go through here, and we'll
We'll figure it out at some point. But
Young Bucks,
Young Bucks will go in the A. Either A or S, they're always like an either A or S.
Young Bucks are an S-level tag team, and they're reminding you every week.
Is that 2 votes for S? Because I would go A.
I think as a tag team, they're S.
Yeah, I mean, the Young Bucks are an S, but then again, they're being treated like a little bit of jobber ones now, so maybe A for right now. As of this moment, they're currently A. But they are getting a lot of main events, and they're still featuring a lot, so...
let's see. Let's try to get a D and an E.
An E is, I had someone, QT Marshall.
Either perpetually...
He's not F, because he's a decent worker. He's not like... But he's there to lose. He's a jobber.
I'd maybe put Kip Sabian on the E tier. Yeah, I don't think I'd go Kip in C. Kip is D or E.
In which case he's D, because he's not E level. He's not
QT Marshall, so he's a D.
Yeah, he appears on AEW TV regularly. So.
What do we do with Ortiz? No opinion.
Yeah, I think so.
Like is that dude even still fucking hired? You know.
He probably is because he's still on the roster page. So. Evil Uno also is an opinion one, I think. I know he's done bits and pieces of Ring of Honor, but like almost like all of the other two members of Dark Order are at least wrestling somewhat regularly on Ring of Honor, but Evil Uno's not really doing much. He's primarily just like their gaming guy now.
John Silver and Alex Reynolds, would we go
D?
I like them, but like they're on the developmental show, the minor league show, and not standing out from the little bits and pieces that I see here and there. So like,
I mean, there's a lot of people than they are.
So you're thinking D?
Yeah, I'd say D. Put it this way, because I wouldn't put them like the E people. I'd say you're looking at Griff Garrison and Cole Carter, and Jack Jameson's F actually.
Do I not have Cole Carter on this?
Yeah, he's there. Close club, yeah.
Jack Jameson. Who's the other one? Griff Garrison. Who the fuck is that? So you're thinking 2 D's and an E, or you're thinking E's and F?
2 E's and an F. 2 E's and an F.
122 and an 8. 122 and an 8. 10 points if you get the reference, anybody.
I can go for pizza.
Man, fuck, I'm going to want pizza tonight now that I'm saying this. Nick Wayne is somebody that, like, he, at this particular moment, is not wrestling because he's injured, but, like, that motherfucker has risen so high up for being so goddamn young. He's at that range that, like, it pisses me off how talented he is. Like, certain people, like, you're just like, fuck me, this guy, by the time I didn't even, like, have an idea about even what I would want to do, he's already progressed at a level that's higher than people that are twice his age, which is insane. I don't think I could go A tier for him just because of the fact that, like, I would be surprised if Nick Wayne won some kind of a championship other than, like, the TNT title or something like that, but, like, that guy's so fucking close that, to me, he's, like, B+, and, like, if we're still around, by the next tier list, if he's not A- at the very least, I would be extremely surprised. He's progressing so quickly.
Big fan. His injury doesn't hinder his ability too much.
Right.
I do appreciate that you're very high on him. He's very firmly a B right now. And I think that it's going to be 2-3 years before he hits A level.
I see a lot of potential in him, for sure.
Oh yeah, but it's just a case of they know they have so much potential in him that they can hold fire on him for a little while and just let him build up naturally. But yeah, he's got all the tools, and he will reach that level eventually.
Yeah.
Just it's so difficult to get through the rank. There's so many good people in AEW that it's just hard to break your way through it sometimes.
Mm.
As someone who I think also is in B, can attest to in Daniel Garcia. And I can argue he might only be a B right now because of the fact that he's now part of the Death Riders, yeah.
Yeah, if we would have done this earlier this year, he would have been lower.
Yeah.
I'd put Bandito in B.
A. No, yeah, I'd say.
A. On par with the other ones, okay. It's right.
He might be at the lower edge of it, but he's leading the way for in-ring wrestler of the year. I'd say.
Brody and
like
B?
Him and Brody B, yeah.
Yeah, Brody's.
But yeah, I'd say like Bandito, like for my in-ring wrestler of the year, it's between him and Fletcher at the moment for the top spot for me.
What do we do with Cole Cabana? No opinion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The pho tier. Okay. Yeah, he's not doing anything. So, like, what do we do with somebody who is not even really there?
Put Aaron Solo in at F because that's kind of a tradition.
I mean, yeah.
That dude sucks.
You got more TV time than Cole Cabana.
But
he gets the opportunity to be ranked in the lowest level.
I'm just moving some people around just to make it a little bit easier. Oh, did I just erase somebody's name? No, I didn't. Okay, good. I couldn't tell you the slightest thing about Josh Woods. So this is either you two vote or it's no opinion for me.
I'm going to say no opinion.
I mean, you've seen him wrestle.
Well, I've seen him wrestle, but I haven't seen him wrestle in a long time.
No, I can't recall off the top of my head, but like the last time I saw him wrestle, like it's definitely been at least a year.
He'd be a D at least. Like he's good.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is like I'd still probably put him in D because I know that he'll never be a good he'll never be a high level one, but he's like Jobber to Stars type, like someone that they will push semi regularly on Ring of Honor, but will never be pushed at the same level with AEW. So
I mean, if they ever chose to, he could potentially go higher, but I don't think they'll choose to.
So no opinion, or do you want to rank him?
D, I'd say.
I'll put him in.
I want to rank him D. Yeah.
No opinion for Keith Lee.
Yeah, that's more
because
appropriate.
he's just MIA.
If he does come back, we have no idea what level he's going to be at or what his condition is or anything along those lines.
At his peak, Keith Lee had S potential and was booked in WWE and AEW as like, okay, well that guy could reach S, but he has had too many health issues, and it's just.
Yeah, let me tell you something. When you think about him and you think about the Undisputed Era boys, 2019 feels like a lifetime ago.
It really does, doesn't it?
Because
I had seen something about 2018 the other day on just some random clip of something or whatever, and I was like, God damn, this is like. That feels more like that switch up of like what we talked about before, where it's like, oh, it's crazy how Yokozuna was like in and out of the company in so few years compared to other people. Then like nowadays people around the roster and they're there for fucking 15 years before they start actually getting their flowers or something. Like now it's starting to feel a little bit more like that for certain people. No opinion, just because the guy popped up and immediately got injured again.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So it's like,
not fair to rank him anything.
Fair is fair of like, that guy can't fucking catch a break. Or I guess he catches too many of them. Or tears. Yeah. I think we should toss a couple, this is labeled weird. I think we should get some more C tiers in there. Start building that. So a C. We mentioned Leo Rush. I could potentially put Leo Rush in a C. C or D.
I'd say C and maybe Andrade in D, just because Leo's got more of an upper ceiling than Andrade does.
Remember when Andrade beat Jericho?
Yeah.
I put the Guns in C. And probably actually Juice as well.
Sad.
Yeah, I'd probably put them all in. See, that's a good range for them. Austin Gunn.
And unfortunately, again, Jude's a guy that just can't catch a break in terms of injuries, that Jay White's probably B right now.
Jay White has the potential to be so much higher up. I still feel like something is not right with him. Like, it's not clicking in AEW the way that I thought. Like, maybe he should have been a WWE guy that people think should go to AEW rather than an AEW guy that is there, you know? Like, where do we stand on Hook?
I'd say C.
BC? Somewhere in there?
It depends on what this thing with Kingston goes like, but right now I'd say probably C.
Do we think we're getting a faction, or do we think we're getting a...
I think we're getting just a partnership.
Yeah, I think mental shooting thing right now.
Yeah. Kind of take him away from the Ops, but maybe if they need to do like a 5-man thing, it's the Ops and Kingston and Hook against 5 people or something.
In which case, put Kingston in B as well, because even though he's just come back, he's like...
Yeah. Kingston's in C territory right now.
No, I'd say B. His popularity is too high to be a C, tier 1.
You see that spinning back fist, though?
That was bad. Yeah, so it wasn't the greatest first match back, but...
The vibe I got was that it was genuinely their first go-around together, and... You know,
Kingston has been out for 14 months or whatever.
And there's
16 months, yeah. So I'm willing to give one pass. Oh, I'd say I'll give a couple of passes for him because he did so well in the last couple of years prior to his injury. So I think he just has too much popularity to be in C. The other guys that are there, they're people that are popular but not like. Let's say if Kingston was if he was at the level that he was prior to his injury, then he'd already be an A just because of his popularity as well.
Keep in mind, reminder everybody, we are doing this on the 23rd of September. So maybe even on Dynamite on the 24th, maybe somebody does something really great or somebody does something really fucking terrible. And it might have swayed our opinions, but that kind of goes into the range of we don't know yet what they're going to do when it comes to Jack Perry and Luchasaurus. They are back, but they just got back 3 days ago. Luchasaurus just abandoned the Killswitch name. We don't know if they're going to go by Jurassic Express, if they're going to continue calling Jack Perry Jungle Boy again. They are going by those things.
They literally did both of those things on Saturday night and released new Jurassic Express merch.
Well, they played the song, but I didn't know if that was it's just a pop for that, but then he'll be Jack Perry as opposed to Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
Yeah. And they released new Jurassic Express merch, so they're going with that.
I like Jurassic Express.
I think we know what they can do. I think as a team, their ceiling is higher probably right now.
Oh, absolutely. This is the best possible move for both of them, is to reunite.
I liked the presentation of Perry as a heel. Didn't like the in-ring as much.
I think this is good in the sense that sometimes guys are just better as tag team guys, as perennial tag team guys.
I just said that about over in WWE, Breaker and Reed. I was imagine them as a permanent tag team. Insane.
Yeah, I think with that one, it's a case of you definitely need to at least try Breaker as a singles guy eventually. And so they were right to try Perry at some point. I think the mistake they made was trying Perry as a heel. He should have been a babyface.
Yeah.
But, that's what they decided to do. And it didn't work out. And now he gets to be back at a tag team. And you hear the pop as soon as the music plays. It's no one wanted this team to go away. Really.
It's been a little while, and they were a great tag team. And there's other people that they don't need them to be in a higher spot right now. So put them in the tag team division and do the thing that WWE doesn't do as well, where you make the tag team division in AEW actually feel hey, it's good that you're in the top of the tag team division as opposed to in the middle range of the singles division. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm really hoping that this is the beginning of them rehabbing the tag team division.
It feels like it. That definitely adds a bit more. I speaking of tag team vision, let's put
some tag teams in
FTR.
there. I'm moving
Yes,
some tag teams around on the screen for anybody that's on the audio only version at the moment. I'm kind of grouping them together. Oops.
I mean, FTR are the A tag team alongside the Bucks. They're 1A and 1B.
I think so.
But both an A.
Butcher and the Blade, they are like,
Yeah, they're no opinion.
I don't even remember the last time that they wrestled and the last time that I would have cared. So, yeah.
I don't think the Blade wrestled in like 2 years.
Still listed on the roster page, though.
Well, yeah, they're still hired. But Butcher has wrestled in the meantime because I say not regularly, but he's like been on he was on a few episodes of like the last bits of Rampage, and he's popped up in like Collision for like squash matches where he'll lose. But yeah, I don't think the Blade wrestled in 2 years. So
we got Taven and Bennett.
D. Ring of Honor tag team.
Yeah.
Dante and Darius Martin, Top Flight.
D.
I think D.
They're higher up than the
D
people
plus
we've got
B
in D.
minus. Take your pick.
See,
They're higher up than the people we've got in D. So
I think we might need to move some of the D's over to E's.
I think the worst people to put
I think we might end up kind of moving some, because I wouldn't put Dante and Darius Martin on the same level as Hook.
No, but they might be like, let's say the C minuses to Hook C plus. And in the argument, I'd be more inclined to move Hook up to D than I'd be to move the Top Flight into D. But
I mean,
so we can leave it for now. I think.
I'd be okay to move Hook over to B.
We'll leave it for now, and we'll just think about it. We can always change later on.
Put a little gap between there. No opinion for Danhausen?
Yeah. It's either that or F, so
yeah,
might as well just be kinder in opinion, no opinion.
Darby and A?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go. And we probably should not really rank Bryan Danielson.
He's an S-tier wrestler, he's an S-tier commentator. Do with that information what you will.
Like,
yeah, but right now he's not an active member of the roster, so
if we assume that he's not going to wrestle anymore, then but if he does wrestle, then yeah, that changes.
Let's see. I think
we have on. What are some other like E's and F's? Do we have any other?
E's and F's. Let me have a look. See who's an F potential person. Not a huge amount there that I can see.
I'm not big on if we're trying to ranging different people. The workhorsemen to me, they're just jobbers. So like I'd E. Yeah,
they can be E definitely.
JD Drake.
I could go with a go going into F. A go going into F.
Yeah, I was like a guy. Go.
He's one of the many people.
He's never done anything.
Yeah, he's one of the many people on this list that, since he's an ROH or nothing guy, I have no opinion about Go. But he's been around the company since basically the beginning, and he's never amounted to jack shit. So, I have no opinion about Lee Johnson, Lee Moriarty, Carly Bravo, Captain Sean Dean, Shane Taylor, Dalton Castle. Let's see who. I don't really have an opinion about Ari Daivari right now. Angelico, Angelo Parker, Ace Austin. These are all people that I'll put this a big group on here, and you guys can be the ones that either make the judgment calls or not, because I could not tell you a move of theirs that they do. I couldn't range them in any capacity whatsoever. Preston Vance would be another one of them.
I just noticed that someone was missing. We haven't put Blake Christian on the roster.
Did I not type him on?
Nope.
I guess not. Blake Christian, I could give an opinion on. I'd go C or D.
And yet you can't do it for Lee Johnson, even though they're in a tag team together.
Yeah, I've just seen more Blake Christian matches overall.
I don't know how that's possible.
It's just one of those weird things where, like, if I'm paying attention to it, it tends to be more than he's on there. I think that the fucking ice cream thing is really weird. I don't like it. It's not hitting that type of like weird asshole character thing that I typically like. It's just more so like it's not working for me. Blake Christian, before I forget about it, just type him on the list. I would have an opinion about pretty much everybody that's on the side here, other than this group, I think.
So let's see. Right, so the ones that were currently in that group. So Nick Comoro's, he's E or F. I don't really mind which. I'm happy for you to decide. Or
E.
Vance is in the same level as he's in the same faction as Carl and Garrison, so he'll be in E as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Dean's Ring of Honor Tag Champion, or Six-Man Tag Team Champion, should I say. So he's D.
Carly Bravo, too.
Carly Bravo, yeah, of course, yeah.
Same for Shane Taylor.
Maybe Taylor C, maybe, you know?
I think right now he's D, just because he's not, if he was getting pushed towards,
so Blake
like,
Christian,
singles title matches.
like, he's a C, right?
I was
He's about
thinking,
to be regularly featured on TV.
He's Sear
He's
D in
quite
my
relevant.
mind.
but he and Johnson are kind of both, they're both in the act together.
I wouldn't rank Blake Christian as high as Hook or Kyle O'Reilly or
No, I think
Hologram.
Christian and Johnson are both D's. Because they're jobber team. They're a jobber team. They're featured jobber team. They're still a jobber team.
To me, also, just to clarify, I very much treat ROH in the same way as NXT, where, like, an A tier in NXT might not be higher than, like, a B or a C on the main roster. And, like, just to do, like, an equivalent when it comes to ROH, like, somebody who is, like, a bigger deal. Like, Lee Moriarty is a champion in our ROH. I don't get the opinion that Lee Moriarty can come in there and beat a Kyle Fletcher. Like, not remotely close, from my perspective.
Yeah, but I think he could beat Hologram, so I'd put him in C.
Yeah, I'd say he could beat everyone that's in C tier. Maybe outside of Hook, but like that's just because they protect Hook. But if they treat Hook lower down,
He could beat. Hook would be maybe somebody who could beat him, and I think Kyle and Roddy would be two people he would beat, and it would be like a huge feather in his cap.
Yeah, so it's like if he's arguably like the secondary champion or tertiary champion in ROH, it's like good for you. That might make you an A tier in ROH, but an A tier in ROH does not mean an A tier in AEW. You know, like that kind of thing. Same as good as Sol Ruka is, and she's like fucking great in NXT. I can't put her on the same range as like Stephanie Vickers right now. You know. So a lot of these people are like people from ROH and stuff, and I don't fucking watch that show. So, yeah.
I mean, Commander's C, because he's pushed to a relatively good level from AEW side of things. So he doesn't win a ton of matches, but he has been. I mean, I think if you've at any point been part of the Continental Classic, then you can't be any lower than a C, in my opinion.
C for Commander.
Elcon's no opinion. He's only been there for a couple of weeks, so he hasn't had a match yet. So, Dralistico is the lowest ranked guy of the LFI.
I'd go Roosh and C. Honestly,
Roosh is B.
I think Rob Pierce.
He's a little B, but B. But by that regard, so is Guevara.
Guevara's a difficult one.
Guevara, I'd probably go C. As the
go
guy
see it
that
as well.
usually ranks him higher up than mostly everybody else, I think I'd go see it at this point.
I think he's C. I think Roosh is more protected than Guevara is.
But I went with that because they're tag champions.
Yeah, but Roosh is a more protected act as a singles guy. Like you say, the issue with Roosh is that he's never gotten any consistency in terms of.
That's
like,
why I'd see him in C. I'd put him in that like C range of like Hook and Guevara and Kyle O'Reilly and all that. To me, Roosh is less likely to win a bigger match compared to like a Garcia. I don't think that they're on the same B tier.
They're definitely on the same tier because Roosh has beaten Daniel Garcia in matches like for Continental Classic and stuff along those lines. So I'd say I could see Roosh beating everyone in B tier at one point or another. You could book Roosh to beat all these guys.
Where you guys could put Jalisco then?
B. And Beast Mortos goes in C as a make way for that.
There you go.
Dalton Castle? Part of that group?
No opinion.
No,
He's been injured for a long time.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Davari? And Tony Nese for that matter too?
Yeah.
What about Angelico, Angelo Parker, Ace Austin? Ace Austin probably no opinion because he hasn't really.
He's had one match, I think, since he joined AEW. So we know that
You
he's.
guys want an opinion, and that's fine.
We just don't know what his presentation is going to be like now. He's had one match, and we don't know what.
Angelico E.
Angelico E, and same with Sir Penzico can go there as well. They're tag team.
What about Parker?
I mean, I think him and Daddy Magic are probably E.
No opinion at this point, aren't they?
Is Parker even wrestling? Is Menard even wrestling?
He's had a match against FTR a couple of months ago as part of that angle with Daniel Garcia, but that's been it. Menard's just been on commentary now dealing with the Garcia stuff, and Parker's not wrestling, so
yeah.
So I'd say no opinion.
Ricochet. We got some big names that we haven't gotten to yet. Ricochet is A or B, something like that, but I'd go probably A.
He's an A. He's an A right now.
And again, remember, keep in mind, everybody, just because we have this filling out the way that it is right now, we will probably adjust a couple names. So, Big Bill, maybe 3 Bs for Big Bill, maybe C. Wouldn't go A.
What we're gonna see, actually.
It's weird. He could be a B. He's either a low B or he's a high C. It's one of those ones.
High C is a pretty good drink. I'd put Big Bill in B and maybe Brian Keefe in C.
It's one of those ones where it's either Bill's in B and he's in C, or Bill's in C and he's in D. Yeah.
But I'd rank Brian Keefe higher up than Alex Reynolds, John Silver, that kind of crew. And Big Bill did just have that match with Eddie Kingston. So
yeah. Big Bill's like the act out of the two of them, not just in size, but just in overall just ability and charisma.
Let's see, Toleona and Bishop Khan. C's?
C's or B's right now. They beat the Hurt Syndicates. That kind of is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, but they beat MVP. And
they beat the Hurt Syndicate. It's a 6-man match. You don't just beat the one guy. They took out the other two to allow them to be MVP. So
on individual levels, would you put them at B though? Like, would you see them like Bishop Khan getting pushed in the same range as like that group?
Well, no, because they're a tag team.
So,
yeah, in the same way, I could see them.
They're a B.
Yeah, put it this way, I could see them being booked to beat Jurassic Express.
True.
So they're on B. So I'd say they're B tag team.
That's a good argument for that. C.
Tag teams,
Jet Speed are B tag team, yeah.
Yeah. Is he Speedball or is he Mike Bailey? Mike Bailey over here. And Kevin Knight is here. They are a fun tag team, level. But yeah, they are not individually at the A tier quite yet. Claudio A?
No.
B.
B?
Definitely B.
Is that a B for you too, Rob?
So B's fine.
I think C would be a bit harsh. But yeah, definitely a B level now.
Wheeler C?
He's never a main event one.
Wheeler's a B.
Wheeler's C. Job guy.
I mean, I'd potentially move him over to B, but
I can't see Willie beating the guys that are listed on B. Or if he did, it would be a shock. Even though I know Wheeler's a former champion as well, but he's treated as the whipping boy of the group, so I don't think he can be on the same level as Claudio.
What about Pac? He did just return, so we haven't seen where he gets placed quite yet. But
I guess he'd be right there with Claudio.
Yeah, I think he's considered at that level. He's already going to probably feuding with Darby Allin off the back of the result of that match. So,
no opinion for Brian Cage, maybe, because he's been gone for as long as he has.
He's been out for a while, so we need to see where he's going to be positioned when he comes back as part of the Don Callis family, or if he even comes back as part of the Don Callis family.
Trent Beretta.
D?
I think maybe D. He has been gone for a little bit, but I think he's probably not going to be higher up than
I put Rocky Romero in that group as well, because he's primarily a manager, and he's only ever in these 6-man tags to lose.
I'd put him in E, because he is the jobber of that. Like, if there's one guarantee
on that list, D. He's D. If you're featuring on Ring of Honor TV on AEW TV as much as he is, then you can't be an E.
What do you think, Rob? D or E for Rocky?
D. Yeah, he's on TV too much. If he was an E, then we would have to move a couple people.
Which we still might. We've got... I'm rearranging, sorting this to make it a little bit easier right now. Where do you put Matt Sydal?
No opinion.
No opinion?
Yeah, I think that's
I don't even remember the last time that I've seen a match of his.
He was out after getting foot surgery.
Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum. C?
Yeah, but that's fine.
What about Dustin Rhodes? Got a big push this year, that's for sure.
C, I think.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
What about Quen and Zay? No opinion, maybe?
I think no opinion at this point.
Yeah, but they shouldn't. Realistically, they're not there anymore.
They're probably leaving the company.
That's ridiculous. I'll get into that if it actually happens. But I think that'd be silly.
A for Mark Briscoe?
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Where are we going, MJF? S?
Yeah, S is for MJF. Same, put Kenny in S as well. It's with him sitting there for too long.
I'll make the case that even though right now Orange Cassidy's been gone for a little while, I always want to throw him in that SA range.
He's I think. He'll come back and he'll be one of the most over guys in the company, but he's not S.
Put on the same page as Cope and Cage and Fletcher and all that makes sense.
Yeah, I think until they can consistently prove that they will push him as a main event guy, then he can't be an S.
A for Hobbs or B?
Hobbs. I'd say Hobbs is an A now.
What about you, Rob?
Yeah, I'd say A. You got Joe and A. He's on Joe's level.
You haven't got Shibata on this.
He might be the B.
Do I not have Katsuhiro Shibata on here? Yeah, I'd put B for Shibata.
Yeah, Shibata's B.
Let me double check that I have Shibata on Smart Guy Moment. Because if I don't, that is something that needs to change.
Then you're missing someone who's been a champion for the last,
Yeah, why do I not have him on there? I'm going to have to change that. So that's just an oversight.
Yeah, I'll tell you why you don't have him on there. You're so checked out that you're just like, he's there.
Well, I carry the list over from the previous year at the end of the year, and sometimes that can get a little bit screwed up. If I might not even have him from last year, and then I might have just carried it over and not paid any attention or something. So I'm going to have to go back and check out the 2024 list too. Usually when we do these, is when I realized that there's some kind of a mistake here and there. And then, but hey, they make it hard. So we got about like a dozen or so people left. Anthony Bowens. D for him? I was going to say C.
I said C.
Oh, you said C? I thought it came up as D.
No, I'd say C. Same as Caster.
Same as Caster, yeah. Best wrestler alive.
Most heaven wrestler alive.
Johnny TV, I'd probably go D. Maybe C. But as much as I like Morrison,
it's closer to E than it is C, definitely.
Like
at this point,
yeah, between like the likelihood that he would go up to a B to put him in C versus I'd probably go D for Johnny TV. Mason Mansoor,
D, yeah.
Fun as all hell, but they are comedic acts. And we put Ty Valkyrie in D as well, so that makes sense. So we got Adam Cole.
D.
Heartbreaking.
What do you think, Rob?
What did you say, Callum?
B.
B.
Yep.
AR Fox.
D.
D.
Oh, now are you guys going B because you think that he's really fun, or do you think that he's on par with these?
We're going D.
Okay, it's coming across as that as B. B and D are really hard to overhear sometimes. I was gonna say I would not go B, so I'm glad that you guys are at that. C for Hechicero.
Maybe even B, but definitely at least C.
He's fine for the Ring of Honor World title a while ago, and I think he's positioned as higher than the other guys on there.
And higher than Beast Mortos and Hologram?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Brandon Cutler has been basically not there, so, Buddy Matthews has been injured for a long time.
Wrestling, it would be E. Because he's like a perennial jobber.
He was just a jobber. Mark Davis has been out for a while.
Yeah, I'd put him in that opinion.
Jericho.
B.
Yeah.
I'd even go lower, but
he's too well known. He's too popular. You can slot him into a main event and without an eyelid. So
I'll say this: I really think that Jericho. I think people want Jericho to go lower constantly, but you can only do it so far and still be realistic.
I'd have gone C for Jericho. Of just like, how much I would care at that point. Lance Archer, C?
Yeah.
Jay Lethal, D?
Yeah, I'd say now.
Jeff Jarrett, D?
Yeah. I even say no opinion, potentially, for Jeff Jarrett.
He hasn't wrestled for a long while. So
but you know what you're getting with Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, and he would be no higher than a D. So
what about
at this point,
Scorpio Sky? They
made it seem currently on C, then he's C.
Yeah, he can't be lower than top player.
Yeah, they made it seem like he might potentially get a push, and then it disappeared in some ways. Kota Ibushi, C?
B.
At least a B.
Yeah, I'd say B. He's higher than the other guys on there. He just doesn't fit surrounding him there.
And then we got 4 people that are kind of in that range of not really 100% part of the company, but kind of might as well. Gabe Kidd.
A.
I don't know if I'd go
A's high. A's high. Too high.
I'd go B.
Yeah, B's fine.
Same part with like Josh Alexander, for instance.
Yeah,
had one of the best matches I've ever seen with Kenny Omega earlier this year. And I know you're working with Omega, you're going to get something good, but still.
Mascara Dorada. Very impressed with what I've seen so far.
Yeah, B's fine, I think, for him.
I'd go for that. He's, wrestling Konosuke Takeshita and Kazuchika Okada and Okada won the match. Takeshita looked like he seemed like he could have, and Dorada took the pin. That's it. SAB. Makes sense.
Yeah. No, it's like in CMLL he's S. So in the same way that Mystico's S, but I'd say Mystico's A for AW.
They're treating him like that.
Yeah, he's treated like a legend. So.
And then for some reason we end with Tomohiro Ishii. C.
He is your perpetual C. That means C through and through.
And so who do we potentially adjust here? We've got a pretty good bell curve going on, to be honest.
It looks fine.
I would think maybe we move somebody from B up to A, like one or two people, just to balance that out a little bit and get that away from the B and C being exactly the same range.
So I would say, based on this, I'd say we move both the Bucks into S. Start with.
Yeah.
So we doing that?
If I move that over, then we definitely should move some Bs over to A's.
I'm fine with that. In which case, just looking through the list of people,
I would throw Claudio into A. I still think that even though he is not booked as super strong, I think that if there's somebody that's a number 2 out of that group, he ranks higher than Pac.
Yeah, he's the second in command, so I can see him going into A. And then if I'm looking through the rest of the ones, see like if there's anyone else who want to move from B to A, just to even out a little bit more. And you're probably not going to like it, but the next one's Jericho.
Of course it's Jericho.
I mean, realistically, probably just because if they decided that they wanted to give him a title reign, as much as it would be like, oh, come on, there's so many fucking other people, it would be like, yeah, but he's got the legend thing going on, and, so.
The next one on the list would be Jay White, because even though he hasn't, the consistency hasn't been there that we kind of want it to be, when he is around, he usually is pushed towards the main event.
I'd probably say that none of the other ones on the B tier should go up to A. Not even none of them, I would say. I'd say they all stay in B.
If you put a gun to my head, I would say Coda, but that's it.
I certainly wouldn't think Coda now. That's kind of the rose-tinted glasses looking at Coda from the past. I think I would argue for White moving into A, now that I look at it. Just because I think that when I look at the people in and around the A tier, and how many of them that either Jay White has beat, or I could definitely see him beating consistently.
I'm okay with that.
So I think White should move to A.
2 votes to A minus. That then balances out to B and D being perfectly even.
Yeah, and there should be less on the lower level for pretty much most companies, because
why would you
wouldn't be hiring that many people. They're only there to lose, so at least the other ones they have done stuff with. Basically, when you're looking at like C and above, you're looking at people that either do get pushed consistently or people that you could push consistently, or you could push if you wanted to. So
I think we got a good group going. Makes sense.
Yeah, I like it.
We got a lot of people in no opinion, but that's because a lot of people are injured or just MIA for a long time. And we got the bell curve basically as structured as we can. And yeah. Of course, everybody, if you were listening to this and you're going, what the fuck? Why isn't Hook higher? Or why isn't QT Marshall in the drizzling shits or whatever it might be? Then you leave your comments on whatever platform it is that you're listening to us, and you tell us what you think you would disagree with, or who we should be higher or lower on, or whatever it might be, or if we forgot somebody too, because there's a chance that we forgot a person or two in this. Clearly, if I forgot even Katsuyori Shibata is not even listed on there for some fucking reason.
He's been the trios champion since
it's got to be something that I carried it over, and or maybe I deleted that from somebody else by accident, somebody whoever was above or below him on the roster page, and then I clicked the delete button and I ended up deleting 2 rows or something. I don't know, but yeah, that is part 2 of our annual roster tier list. Again, remember as well too, this is based on September 23rd. So if the episode of Dynamite afterward, or if next week's episode, whatever it is, listen to this. If that is something that could have completely changed our opinion, then maybe we would rank them higher or lower, depending on whatever it might be. And if you are listening to this ahead of the fact, then thank you for being on the AdBlock forgiveness and early access tier on YouTube. If you're listening to this when it's out, leave a comment below still, just the same. And you will probably have coming up next some kind of either hot tags or the WWE roster side of things. But if you have not checked out the AEW women's roster tier list, then go back check that out too. And I don't know what else is going on around there. Hopefully you're enjoying your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, whatever it might be. And,
Friday no longer exists. You heard it here first.
Nah, don't enjoy your Fridays. So anyway, that's it for part 2. Mentioned before, check out all the different things in the Marketplace and Discord channel and all that, and also go to the amangotree.com stuff and follow all the links there. Follow Robin Callum too.
Yep, follow me everywhere at Dude Felice, and check out Fightful.com for my work.
You can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Wigmeister14. Check out the Power Rankings every Saturday to see how I'm ranking the WWE superstars based on their previous week's performances. And while you're over there, head on over to the Fantasy League, also at WWEFantasyLeague.com, to see how our rosters are looking and who's picking up points as we head towards Crown Jewel.
Cool. So, leave those comments, hit the like button, subscribe. Also, a spare change our way if you are listening to this after the fact and you're like, man, I wish I would have just been on that early access tier or something like that. And we will see you in whatever the next thing is you click on. But adios for now. This has been another Smart Cow moment, and we are being counted out.
So if you guys are keen on getting on any of these ones right here, you can definitely get your hands on. And especially, guys, now, this is actually only going to be about $19.99, okay? No matter how much it's actually, no matter how popular they are still going to be on the same price as all the other ones as well. And also on top of that, if you guys are pretty new, you can actually get 2 at the same time. Can we see, okay, we want to see the worms. I actually have a reply to you. If you guys are wanting to see a series, I have to actually go for one by one. So I have told you guys earlier, just if you guys are wanting to see another SP for a little bit, give me 5 to 10.
What is up, wrestling fans? Welcome to part 3 of our annual tier list rankings here on Smart Cow Moment Smack Talk Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Tony Mango, joined as always by Robert D. Felice.
Hey.
And Callum Wiggins.
Oh dear.
And if you have not checked out the AEW women's and the AEW men's roster tier lists that we've already done, go back and check them out. More explanation of these different tiers that we have and just the system in general and all that we won't bother to go along. It's pretty self-explanatory too, but we are also going to be recording here the WWE women's roster. And context as well on this, we are recording this on the 23rd of September. So if you are on the $5 and up tier on YouTube, the channel membership side of things, then you'll get early access and you will be able to check this out ahead of time. If you are not, then this is going to be scheduled for some time over the course of the beginning to the mid-range of October. So that's potentially quite a bit of a jump. in things could happen that could change our perspectives, but I'm going to be in Brazil for 2 weeks in October, and I don't think I'm going to be able to record anything while I'm over there, but it all kind of depends. So I'm going to release this a little bit later than that, and that's why we're recording this a little bit in advance as well. So, if by some chance there is some kind of major difference, and it's like on the Friday night SmackDown that's coming up this week, Jade Cargill and Nia Jax are up against Tiffany Stratton, and Jade Cargill wins the title, and we're ranking her not winning that title, then keep that in mind. So, you guys should be ranking Blake Monroe so much higher because in the next 2 weeks, she becomes the focal point and wins 8 championships. We don't fucking know. So it's all based off September and our projection of the potential future and all that. Keep in mind, too, we want to know what your opinions are, so drop your thoughts in the comment section below and tell us what your rankings are for the different men and women that we do on these. Of course, this one is the women's division, so leave a comment on YouTube or Facebook, Twitter, whatever it might be. Head on over to the Discord channel and just chat it up over there. Join the community on that front. Keep in mind, too, that if you support this and you are not on that early access tier, that's the $5 tier. Greatly appreciated. Even $1 a month is. And the Darkcast and the Pick a Poison tiers are also out there if you want to join those. Patreon.com/SmarkOutMoment, and the setup of the tiers is the exact same over there. Click on the thanks button, toss a little spare change our way. Redbubble and TeePublic is where you get your merch. And that's pretty much all we need to explain, other than to show you the actual thing that we're working with right now. So, as we usually do here, we've got our spreadsheet that you can see on the YouTube side of things. And you can see that a lot of this is actually already filled out. There's a good 30 names that I've got on here. 23 is what it is. Now, they are in purple, and they are already filled out to save a little bit of time, and because these are all women who are on Evolve, and pretty strictly on Evolve and LFG, where they're not wrestling on NXT in the same capacity, so it's very hard to rank them. And Callum doesn't watch AEW, doesn't watch WWE. Total opposite. Yeah, doesn't watch WWE in the main roster even as much as what he used to, let alone when it comes to NXT, let alone when it comes to Evolve. You might not have even seen 30 seconds of Evolve, right?
What's Evolve?
There you go. And Rob has not, I think at this point, seen a full episode.
I have not seen a full episode of Evolve, and I've not seen anything of LFG still. I have a limit, it turns out. In fact, I'm watching less main roster content than I ever have in my life. So that's where we're at right now.
So this set of rankings that I have currently on here is my assessment of what I would do for anybody that would be curious. And I'll just very quickly breeze through them before I move them over into the no opinion column. Because in the grand scheme of things, a 2-on-1 type of a vote like that, and it is Evolve, so these people are, pun intended, evolving. So here's where I kind of assess this group. Callie Armstrong is the Evolve Women's Champion. She is definitively one of the best women that they have there. But she is also at a level that if she were to go to NXT right now, I think she'd fit in perfectly fine. She would be on the same range as a Lola Vice or Kalani Jordan or whoever in that kind of range. But she still wouldn't be the same that we can compare to main roster talent or to NXT talent that could be up to the main roster right now. So I can't go A or B for Callie, and that kind of sets the tone. Kendall Gray is being treated as a pretty big deal over in Evolve, but I don't see it all that much. Kylie Ray, same sort of thing. They're fine. Penina Tuilapa is fun in LFG. She's got a lot of potential, but she's an LFG, quote-unquote, fighting for an NXT contract talent, so you can't rank super high. Wendy Chu, same thing. She has arguably been better in Evolve than she ever was in NXT, which is good for her. But when you're on the D show, you can't go higher than a C. Zeta Steel has a ton of potential in the future, but she's not at that range yet. Xena Sterling, fun character, seems like she's getting it better in the ring, but she's on LFG. Lower than that, Bailey Humphrey is not at the same range as Xena is yet, but she has a lot of potential as well. If she can get some things to click, I think that we could see her being a pretty big deal going forward. Brindley Reese is a lot of fun. Danny Skelski's got some potential to be the new Casey Catanzaro, or, you know, the little flippy girl kind of spot. Hayes Jameson is great for character work. The in-ring stuff isn't quite there yet, but if you can take Hayes' character and personality and give that to even somebody who's a veteran, like a Natalia would be way higher as personality. Gintala, Summer Sorrell, people that I don't see it as much in Carly Bright, Serena Lenton, and Tatiana Dumas. It wouldn't shock me at all if they eventually don't get like onto NXT proper at all. And then I have quite literally no opinion when it comes to Aria Bennett, Chantel Moreau, Calix, who is Jessica Carr in a mask. It's cool that she's wrestling. Layla Diggs, Mason Holiday, Zara Zakher, I think is how it's pronounced, and Zoe Sager. I don't even think Zoe Sager has wrestled a single match. I think Zara Zakher is just like basically on ID. Chantel Moreau's got some character. Layla Diggs and Mason Holiday are just the same as, their names. So that's 23 names to just completely, mess around with on there. If this becomes a little bit too confusing with these being ranked on that front, then I'll move them over to no opinion. But keep in mind, any of the purple ones, it's just my opinion. So that knocks out a third of what we've already got. And we got 54 other names to go on here, and a good third of them, 21 of them, are on NXT. Let's set the tone, though. Let's go with our S's and our F's.
Can I'll say first, as out of the people who've got listeners as well, obviously, I know me and Rob have no kind of basis to judge, essentially. But if Evolve is akin to, it's sub NXT, so similar to, if we consider NXT to be on par with, Ring of Honor, or maybe slightly higher, obviously, because it's on TV, and there's more of a need to have bigger stars on NXT, so I can understand that, but Evolve is literally just newbies coming through. How can so many be ranked C?
So, I was going to get to that when we start ranking the other people. This is if I'm ranking based off of not having ranked anybody else. But the moment we start putting other people in there, I would effectively move everybody from C to D, D to E, and E to F.
Okay.
That's kind of how I would range it. So I wanted to give credit to, Callie Armstrong right now. If she was exactly what she is in Evolve, but she was on NXT, I'd put her in C.
I also think she's good.
But, realistically, if she is only on Evolve, she shouldn't be quite at the same level. But there's no real difference to me between Callie Armstrong in Evolve versus Carmen Petrovic in NXT. They're about at the same. Arguably, Callie might even be higher in some ways. But once we start moving the other people, I'll probably just shift everybody over by one. I could probably just even do that now. Just to make that a little bit easier, because I'm not going to advocate for anybody to lose their jobs and stuff like that, but if Serena Lenton doesn't make it out of the LFG show and never gets to NXT, I'm not going to be super surprised. Let's put it that way. So I don't want to say drizzling shits as wow, this person's terrible and they'll never make it, but right now, if I've got 100 people on the roster and I would have to release certain people, I don't see it in Tatiana Dumas or, whatever.
All right.
So shift it over like that. S tier, I'd put Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley, Io Sky.
I'd put like Stephanie Vaquera potentially at that range already, but like S and A when it comes to Stephanie, you're saying that Io, she's going to be super high up. Becky is probably going to be pretty high up. What happened to Becky on there? I clicked on the wrong thing. Bianca, even though she hasn't been around for the past couple of months, like she's perpetually
like GOAT level talent.
I highly doubt a broken finger is going to make Bianca Belair not be able to be Bianca Belair. You know? I mean, just for the sake of just actually placing, I'd go S for Bianca.
Yeah, I think she's solidified as an S tier talent.
You were saying Io as S. I don't know if I'd go S for Io, but I would definitely at least go A plus.
I don't know how you could say that Io's not an S and Stephanie is. It's just
Stephanie's definitely not. Stephanie's an A. I think Io's an S. Especially as we're looking at this as the 2025 rankings, this was her year. She's getting the end of the year awards.
I hate when they put Io in positions to cut promos the way that they've been doing lately, where it's not good enough for like her English skills. Like they've been doing with like Stephanie, they don't put her in the same promos as Io, and it masks Stephanie better than Io. You know what I mean? So that always like hinders her because she's great though. Do we toss Becky in an S?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I think you have to. Star power wise, she's S forever.
Who could we go see on?
Piper Niven and Alba Fire.
I mean, I wouldn't go
if
higher.
If you're going to go any lower, then you're going to have to start moving all of the involved people down even further.
I wouldn't go a B for them. I'd go C.
Yeah.
Alba Fire, Piper Niven. One report saying that Piper Niven might be career-ending injury. That sucks if that's the case.
Fightful just said it's a neck injury, but people are confident she will return.
Oh, that's good. I had this grouped into like Raw and SmackDown, whatever. I should probably just do it alphabetically per the main roster because it's a little bit throw me off a little bit here and there. Let's see. Out of like the low end of try to set like an F tier or a D tier or an E or whatever it might be on the main roster, and the names that aren't on the Evolve side of things. I'm not super high on Lainey Reed. I haven't seen super much of her, but like she hasn't shown me anything that really makes me think that she's anything other than a D or an E.
Yeah, like maybe an E, just because the D will probably get reserved for a lot of the main roster people.
Yeah, I can see that. Now, again, NXT from tonight hasn't even happened. Lainey Reed most likely will beat Candice LeRae, and then she probably will even beat Sol Ruca at NXT No Mercy, but we don't know that yet. And that can upgrade her, and she could have a great performance and whatever, but as far as on the 23rd at 5 o'clock, Lainey Reed is an E tier for me.
It's interesting to see how the Speed Championship will get factored into that, and like where people find themselves getting pushes through those.
Just because of the fact that like if they are going to push somebody and give them something, it's better than nothing. Like the NXT Heritage Cup that just doesn't exist anymore for some reason. I'd go E for Jasmine Nix. I don't see it.
I think that's then D for Fallon and C for JC.
No, I wouldn't go that low for Fallon.
So C, Fallon, and JC.
I think probably both in C.
That works.
Because they have a lot of potential. They're fun. They're good. It's a big difference, I think, between Jasmine and Fallon and JC. And Fallon and JC could go up to the main roster right now. If they went up to the main roster right now, they wouldn't be fighting for the championship immediately. So they would be that BC at most type of range. So I'd go see. They would be in the range of an Alba Fire and a Piper Niven. It's very disappointing how Jordan Grace has been booked. And she went from...
Staring at her name.
She could have been immediately thrown into the A tier, and they don't want her to succeed in NXT. So it's like, maybe B?
Right now, I'm thinking B, but if I could just, for 2 seconds, she should be where Stephanie is right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a knock on Stephanie. Stephanie's great, but this isn't a case of like, oh, you have a bias because of what you saw Jordan do. Jordan can hang. You know what I mean? Like,
they're just booking her to be a loser.
This NXT push is going to do to her, like, Callum once said that I ruined Diana for him because I overhyped her, and then she was utilized AEW the way she is. I feel like Grace is going to be like that for a lot of people, where she came in like a big deal. I don't know why they insist on having her lose all the time.
It seems like they're obsessed with the idea that if she loses, it'll mean more when she wins and people won't be annoyed at her or something. But by doing that, they're just killing all of her aura.
She's not an underdog. She's not an underdog.
Right.
She's a powerhouse. She should be booked like a dominant champion, or like just a dominant force. Heel or babyface, regardless of it, she shouldn't be booking her as a
have to fight from underneath thing.
Yeah, that's just not who she is.
She's being booked as a John Cena 2010 dumb babyface who gets betrayed by all her friends and can't seem to pull out a win. Like, I don't get it, because she should be in A tier, if not, like, already creeping towards S.
Right.
She could have been booked that strong.
And they're going to have to rehab her after being in NXT, rather than NXT being a launching point to the main roster.
And it's going to be one of those things where you know for a fact where they're not even going to try. All they're going to do is call her up and go, isn't it amazing? We have Jordan Grace on the main roster now.
Yeah.
That's what again is one of the most worrying aspects of it, is because for a lot of people, NXT is the peak of their actual booking ability.
Yeah.
So she could go, like, she's been in Shawn Michaels' hands, and under Shawn Michaels, I think fairly, the NXT Women's Division has been considered to be like the highlight of NXT for the last year, 2 years plus.
100%.
And so then she's going to be put into Triple H's hands, and maybe Triple H thinks more highly of her, or book her better. Again, I can't say one way or the other, but Triple H's recent booking over the last year plus hasn't given a lot of confidence to a lot of people in terms of how the direction goes. I guess you could probably parlay that into talking about Roxanne Perez.
Roxanne is, I would say, B.
Yeah.
She's got the potential to be higher, but they're firmly booking her in a spot where hopefully she beats AJ Lee for the Women's Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. So it's like, I hope that in 7 months she wins the mid-card belt. And you know what? Like, people can have slower. You know, she's what, like 22 or something? Like, she's got time. So she won the tag titles. She could win the mid-card title. Roxanne's not in a spot where if Roxy doesn't win the belt, the like, you know, women's world championship in the next year, she's cooked. Like, no. She could be in B tier, and it could be good right now.
She has time. Like Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne had time.
Oh, now they're Los Americanos.
I am full blown done with that mentality of like, oh no, everybody, you need to wait. No, you don't, because
if you don't need to wait, there's no reason to wait. But at the same time, I think Roxanne will get there.
I think she will too. But as a viewer, I'm beginning to think that they're just making these people wait to make them wait.
Just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
We don't have wrestling shits right now. Can I just put Nikita Lyons in there?
Yeah,
you can do whatever you want, pal.
Yeah.
Okay, because
That is your First Amendment right, Tony.
We're having less and less of that happening nowadays.
And as you know, it was given to you by this wonderful British man, so rock solid.
Lyons has decreased over and over and over. She just, like, at her absolute peak, she still wasn't great. And now she's, like, barely even on Evolve. And when she's on there, it's, like, it's just no.
On a real level, she was okay when she started, and now both of her knees. And you just, like, I genuinely feel bad in that way. That it's like, damn, you were starting from, you know,
not super duper high,
anyway,
but
and now both of your knees are gone.
Right. Now that has made it to where she can't work in the ring. And she's also just been, like, she doesn't have the same energy that she had before. And, like, yeah, it's
This is what I'll say. Ava is a good example of, boy, when you really were forced to put someone in a spot, you found a pretty decent spot for them. If you find a spot for Nikita that's not in the ring.
It's crazy how Ava was terrible. That's what it is. She was fucking terrible. Like, she sucked on the mic. She sucked in the ring. She had no character. And then they gave her this general manager role, and she was bad at that. And she's gotten to a point now where she's confident enough that it's like, you know, she's a fine enough general manager. She wouldn't be my first pick. And, you know, if we were doing some kind of a draft and it was like ranking, you know, we can pick our general managers, I'm certainly not going to pick Ava over like a William Regal or a Teddy Long or whoever the hell else. But, like, she's fine in this role. Good for her. Nikita?
That's what I'll say. She's also extremely young and needed to find herself.
Yeah.
You know?
Nikita is not finding anything.
Most charismatic man of all time.
So let's go with let's toss another random name out there.
Thea Hale.
Thea to me, I hate to do this. Realistically, Thea is a D.
Unfortunately, she's another one. There haven't been too many fumbles in the NXT women's division, but that's another one where they were just like, no, you're going to lose.
Yeah, it's just, we just don't want to push you. And if Fallon and JC are a C, I can't put Thea on the same level right now. But she's definitely higher up than Lady and Jasmine, because the only reason why she isn't higher up is because they just, for some reason, don't want to fucking push her. Thea's fun, and she's good in the ring. But they don't care. And that sucks. I think I'd probably put a couple other people in that range too. Like, I'd probably put Tatum Paxley in that range.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think Izzy has improved to the point that she's at that range. I would have put her lower before. Rizzo's been just non-existent. I had no opinion Rizzo at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I can't even say what she's like in the ring. Carmen's a D.
She's on the same range. Carmen. She has potential. She's hot. She's, you know, able to carry herself on the microphone. So, like, some things are clicking, but it hasn't all clicked yet. And they haven't bothered to, like, give her a championship run or, like, a solid push for more than a few weeks at a time. So she's not on the same range as Fallon and JC, I think. But I would put some other people in the same range as Fallon and JC. I would put Jada Parker.
Yeah.
I would put Kalani Jordan.
Yes.
I'd put Lola Vice.
Yes.
I would put Zarya.
Yeah.
And
she's booked like an E.
She's booked like an E, yeah. It sucks. She's fun, but she's booked lower than the other. Yeah. Tyra May Steele, I'd put an E right now. She has the potential, but she has to learn more. Like, she has to get some character.
I would genuinely put her at least in D because she can beat all those women. And she would beat all those women if they were booked against her.
If they cared enough to really push her with the Olympic thing, she would. But right now, they're like, she's not a jobber. Maybe she would go with D. Yeah,
She just wrestled Chelsea Green.
that's true. Yeah.
Who
Fair
would
enough.
be?
Jasmine is like, she's the loser of the group. Ren loses all the time. Tyra being a D makes sense.
Chelsea Green's a B.
She should be an A, but she's a B. What do you think, Callum?
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's finish out
a B.
the NXT side of things. I think Soul Rookie jumps up. Yeah, I think she's already a B. Lash has been doing pretty well. I'd put her in the same range as Jada Parker and all them. I'd put her at C, maybe D, but
Most improved wrestler of a long time. Lash Legend is at least a C.
good for her. I'd go E for Ariana Grace,
I think that's her.
and then Blake Monroe is the last NXT talent. And
B.
was that a D you said or C?
B is in
A B.
boy.
You can't judge Big John Grace. You can't judge this based on AEW, anything to do with her AEW run.
Right. So I'm like,
You have to- yeah.
I think I'd go C for Blake. But, I mean, it does make sense that she's been treated like she's, on par with Jordan Grace and stuff. So maybe B. But,
And JC.
yeah. I mean, she's not the champion, but she is kind of being treated as she's, like, on par, if not better, than JC. But
One of the main characters.
I wouldn't be opposed to putting her on C. She's been disappointing in some ways. But I think
I'm
that's
not arguing
partially
that.
booking. Yeah.
At all, but I'm going by the booking.
So now we have the main roster that we can already run through. We're down to 24 names.
E, BFAB.
Yeah.
D, Michin. No, C, Michin. C.
To say.
Michin's better than they give her. I feel bad for her. They just don't want to push her.
It's just that curse. It's that curse of being somebody who's really good at the gig, and then you get
A good hand. Good
Nikki
hand
Cross
to-
is Nikki Cross is in our opinion, right? She doesn't wrestle anymore.
She hasn't at all since the Wyatts. She's just been like a manager, essentially.
It's unfortunate because you could do something there, but
Yeah.
no opinion.
Under D, I think I'd put Ivy Nile. I don't think I'd put her in C anymore. Which sucks because she.
Maxine did probably be in D alongside it then, surely.
Well,
Yeah.
no, E right now, Maxine.
Oh, maybe she is a jobber.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
also, yeah.
She's she's there to be attractive and to be like a fun enough person on a house show match or whatever. And for some reason, they gave her a spot on. For context, everybody, it's November. I keep wanting to say November. It's September 23rd, and yesterday on Raw, Maxine went up to Adam Pearce and said, "Can you please give me a chance?" And he's like, "Nah."
I'm sorry, that's not. Well, you know what? No, that is funny because they're booking another TV show that way. Why are you doing that to the poor girl?
Yeah, he was like, "Well, I can't, but if you keep doing what you're doing and you keep improving, then maybe." Which was like, you dedicated time specifically to have Maxine be like, "How good am I?" And Adam Pearce is like, like that's really good.
How's she supposed to improve if you're not actually going to put her on TV? When's she going to be doing? When's she going to be doing
what
any
house
improving?
shows, Tony? You mentioned house show matches. What house shows?
But I mean, they didn't book her for anything, so it was like, why call her out and go no, as opposed to like, all right, well, if you want to challenge, you can go up against Raquel Rodriguez next week, or you know what I mean, like one of those
She's gonna
things.
be La Grande Americana.
So So, I mean, again, when you might be listening to this, maybe Maxine has started to get some kind of a push or something. But as far as the 23rd, the most recent thing was, I really would like to show that I can be something, and then Adam Pearce being like, I'm not fucking seeing it, but maybe in the future, which is, you know, she's dedicated, she's passionate, she's got some potential, but she's just not at that range yet.
I kind of hate that, like, they have completely removed the concept of, like, a strong valet with, like, a stable. Because she could do that, and no, I'm not talking about the goofy American Alpha or Alpha Academy thing. Like, she could lead a stable of people.
There's nothing that separates her from a lot of the women in the past. Realistically, if you put Maxine Dupree in the era as like Tori Wilson, what's the difference? Maxine's arguably better in some ways. Yeah.
Speaking of valets, what are we doing with Kiana James?
Oh,
No
man,
opinion?
I don't know. No opinion, maybe?
Probably no opinion.
She's one of the better ones on the microphone. And she looks fantastic, and she's got character. And then they said, yeah, but fuck you with the in-ring stuff. I don't know why. If somebody's got like 3/4 of a thing going on, why would you not at least try?
You gotta accentuate the fourth that she doesn't have anything going on.
As someone who's only like really paid attention most to the clips, I still have the full belief that they're just using Julia to push Kiana James.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Julia. She has not lived
No
up to
higher than a
hype.
B. No higher than a B.
I'd potentially go C, but B makes sense because she's the
United
champion.
States champion. Yeah,
the one that's
technically.
champion, she's a B.
But she is
Yeah.
starkly distant from Stephanie Becker. Like, that shift over the past couple of months has been a major gap.
I'm
those.
not being at all funny when I ask this question. How much of the positive of Steph is just because of how over the Devil's Kiss got?
I think she's better in the ring in a lot of ways too, though. Like, she has the style
Better
down.
than Jordan? Really better?
Listen,
She's great. I'm not saying that she isn't. I'm saying
aesthetics play a big part in all this stuff. She's
Yeah.
clearly really hot. So, that's the same, not exactly the same reason, but that's a big reason why Rhea's pushed as hard as she is.
Oh, yeah.
They have that aesthetic to them. And so, that's like, I'm not saying that to take anything away from Paquette. She's an excellent wrestler in NXT and prior to NXT as well. So she absolutely has a right to be at the position she's in. It's just a case that, yeah, she's going to get pushed more because she has the ability that someone like Julia and Jordan Grace is, but she is more aesthetically pleasing to a lot of people.
Like,
So,
I think we all would agree that, like, Candice LeRae, for instance, like, yeah, I mean, everybody's got their own preferences, but, like, I think Candice is very cute. And I think that she's great in the ring. But Candice isn't on the same level in WWE as Stephanie. And
Candice
it's like,
LeRae was at one time the best women's wrestler in America. And was made for the NXT era she came into. It's wild that they never got it.
yeah.
I'll also say this as well, just to tell you, because we often say this sort of thing almost exclusively when we're talking about the women.
It applies to the men,
The
too.
same thing absolutely applies to men. Why does people like Bron Breakker has the look that he has, and that means that he'll get pushed, even though a guy like Chad Gable can do a lot of the stuff that he can do, but Chad Smallwood looks the way that Chad does. Not that Chad is like unattractive by any stretch of imagination, but it's just Braun has a presence to him that other people don't have. Same thing with like Seth. Seth has and Roman have looks to them that other people just don't have.
Right.
And,
Like, if we look over
it's
the men's
in a
roster
small-
right now, like, JD McDonough is arguably better in the ring than some people that would be higher up on the... Like, we're not going to rank JD McDonough as an A-tier guy.
Yeah.
But
It's
you
an
trust
aesthetic thing.
JD McDonough to have a better match, or do you trust, say, I don't know, what's a good example of another person that's, like, in that kind of higher up range?
Lesnar.
Realistically, I have more fun watching JD McDonough in the ring than Lesnar. But it's like, you can't compare which one's higher up, you know? which I guess I don't have Brock and a couple other people on here. I got to. Oh wait, no, I do. He's on the side. Okay.
My thing is, it's unfortunate because I understand what you're saying completely, and yes, that's obviously an element of Stephanie's push. But I'm also not going to lie and say that Julia's far behind her in that category. You know, like she's absolutely not.
We know well, the people that watched her in Stardom know how good the Julia can be under the right circumstances. And honestly, it's one of the ones that's so baffling about it, because one thing Triple H has shown a consistency in is that he does book Joshi wrestlers strong. How little faith he's putting into Julia is alarming for her in a way. Yes, they've given her the title, but doing so little with her, despite being champion, is kind of, well, it's in one way it's understandable. In other ways, it's just a bit weird because he does treat Asuka and Kairi and Io with a lot of respect in terms of the way they're booked.
Not gonna lie, what's the only difference between the four of them? Julia is a product of the Michaels era of NXT. He doesn't have that built-in relationship with Julia. And maybe that's what that is.
A good comparison, I think, with how Julia is being treated is how Shinsuke Nakamura was put through the ringer. Where it was like, Nakamura was very clearly a top guy at NXT. He comes up to the main roster, they try for a little bit, and then they just go, yeah, you know what, you're going to fit in that role. And it's like, I'm worried about that with Julia.
Well, I think it's slightly different. Cause, like, I think Julia has been much lower, been treated a lot worse, because Nakamura, he beat John Cena within a couple of months after being put onto the main roster. And he was fighting for the World Championship, admittedly, against Jinder Mahal, which is probably the thing that actually ruined him, was the fact that he had to have matches with Jinder Mahal, and then they said, oh, he didn't get over. Well, he's having matches with Jinder fucking Mahal as WWE Champion, of course he's not getting over.
But they still kept going. They had him in the Rumble after that.
Yeah, no, and so they did try, whereas Julia, like, it feels like, okay, they're going to the United States title, and then, okay, what now?
Yeah.
Because literally, and that's also probably just the issue with how the United States title as a general has been booked. Because literally, I know I make a joke about it, but it's literally just Michin fighting for that title every couple of months or so.
It perpetually is. And, like, Julia doesn't get, like, her feud with Michin is just Michin wants to fight for the title. There's nothing to it. And Julia's like, okay, well, maybe this week, maybe not.
Yeah.
That's it.
And also, like, how many times has that title been defended on pay-per-view?
Mm-hmm.
Very little. Like, because, like, Chelsea was the first character champion, then they gave it to Zelina Vega, who's just been, like, you know, perennial journey woman in the company. And then it just goes over to Julia, and then there's just nothing. You just go back to Michin because you've got so few baby faces, or mid-tier baby faces. Like, it'll be the weirdest thing ever. It almost be like the Sheamus Intercontinental Child thing if, like, Michin never wins the Women's United States Championship, even though she's seemingly the only person that's exclusively fighting for that championship.
Yeah, nobody else cares about it. You're not seeing, like, when the hell's the last time we saw Zelina Vega? Trying to get that belt back.
On Twitch, probably.
Yeah, I guess so. So where do we put Candice? Does Candice go C or D?
C, I think.
What about Zelina?
C.
Where do we put who's else? Raquel, because we have Roxanne at B, so she can't go higher.
She's on the same tier as Roxanne.
To me, BC.
Arguably, she's protected, whereas Roxanne isn't. Roxanne's the one that takes the falls, and Raquel's the one that's protected.
I would say, even though she's been gone for a while, I'd put Liv in A.
Yeah, she'll have that reaction when she comes back.
Out strongly.
And then I would put Alexa in B. Tag team champion. And I'd put Charlotte either in B or in A.
I think both Alexa and Charlotte are A's, honestly.
Alexa A, I think.
I wouldn't be opposed. They could both fight for the world title at almost any time. Yeah.
Is Flair also grandfathered into the S?
I don't know.
I don't think right now she is. I think she's. It's almost like this weird thing. I think Bianca would stay in S, but you could argue that last year when she was just babysitting Jay for the most part of it during her first. Year in the company, it could have been moved to A because she was just there to be a tag team wrestler a period of time. But I think with Charlotte Flair, obviously, you can just make her world champion or put her in the world title match